this one. For the Castleford Tigers at full-back, you've got Ryan McGoldrick. Then it's Richard Owen, Michael Shenton, James Evans, Michael Wainwright. Look out for Rangi Chase. He was the architect. People think of that Castleford Tigers victory at Leeds last week with his kicking game, alongside Brent Sherwin. In the forwards then, you've got Craig Hubie, Ryan Hudson, Paul Jackson, Brett Ferris, Steve Snitch and Joe Westerman, who started the season meaning business. And on the bench for the Castleford Tigers, Mitchell Sargent, Stuart Jones, Liam Higgins and Dean Widders. And I'm told there was a doubt about the fitness of Dean Widders going into this game. Certainly we were here at the Jungle on Monday doing some filming and he was hobbling around then, but he's recovered to take part tonight. Just how fit he is, we'll have to wait and see. For coach Terry Maddison. Now the Warrington Wolves, as I said, unchanged. Richie Mathers at fullback, Chris Riley, Chris Bridge, Ryan Atkins, Matt King, Lee Breers and Richie Myler. In the forwards, new dad Adrian Morley, his second child born earlier this week. Michael Monaghan, Gareth Carvell, Louis Anderson, Ben Westwood and Ben Harrison. And then on the bench you've got Mick Hyam, Paul Wood, Simon Griggs and Vinnie Anderson for the coach Tony Smith. Well, not surprisingly, confidence is high in the camp. Supporters of both sides already dreaming of glory this season. Both coaches with their feet on the ground though after a successful opening weekend.
Both teams played great last week and it augurs for a great game tonight. You know, both teams like to play with the rugby and they look pretty impressive, don't they?
Coach's luxury, an unchanged side.
No, yeah, that's great. Hopefully they can keep going for a little while, but I think they've only got one change as well, so keep my fingers crossed.
And is the real trick here tonight to repeat last week's performance?
I think both coaches are looking for the same thing. A bit different conditions, not quite as mucky as what it was at Leeds, but yeah, we're looking to do, if we do a similar job, we'll know we'll win the game.
Tony, you've set your standards pretty high already, so you've got to maintain that.
That'd be nice. We got the Quins at a good time last week, so we're not getting carried away with that. But we played some good rugby league as well, so that was nice. And we had a job to do, and we did it pretty well. So, but different proposition here tonight, different game. You've got to start in a different way to the way that you finished last week, and that's our intention today.
And you're up against a side who'll be equally as confident, having come off the back of a good win for themselves.
Yeah, they were really good last week. They were, you know, to go to Headingley and get the points and, you know, some feet. So they'll be feeling good about themselves. So, we know that it's going to be a big challenge here on this ground, but that's what we want to do this year. We want to test ourselves and try to get some consistency. We'll answer that tonight in one way or another. Thank you.
Tony Smith keeping his feet firmly on the ground. And the Castleford Tigers, 7th last year, and they made the playoffs. It was quite a turnaround, wasn't it, for the club that finished bottom of the pile in 2008. They only won 4 home games, though, last year. They won 10 of their 13 on the road. If they add to their stunning win at Leeds last week and reproduce their away form of last year here, they should be top 4 at least. And that's where Warrington believe they might be. 11 tries against Harlequins, 58-0. The first time they had nilled any team in Super League. 11 months ago, they were beaten 60 points to 8 at the Twickenham Stoop. So it just shows you what a turnaround this Warrington side have gone through over the past 12 months or so. Warrington come onto the field knowing that having won the cup last year, the first time since 1974, the 10th in the league ladder, can they launch a serious bid for their first league title since the 1954-55 season in 2010 under Tony Smith? This Steve-O against the red-shirted Castleford Tigers will be a big test for them.
Certainly will. Tony Smith, he knows exactly what to expect from the Tigers tonight. It'll be rough and tough down in the forward pack. They know they've got to maintain and make sure that they can get over the advantage line. The likes of Brian Hudson will be just controlling things in and around the play the ball area. But that is the man, Rangi Chase. He really is the architect on this Tigers outfit. He knows when to kick through, he knows when to offload the ball. And the clash against Lee Breers. He's been around a long time as Lee Breers, and he just got the feeling that when they lifted some silverware last year, it really has turned this Warrington club around. But I agree with their coach, Tony Smith. A lot of questions will be answered tonight.
Lee Breers then gets this game underway at the Jungle. A high hanging kickoff And, well, a match that has been keenly anticipated by each and every one of the supporters of both clubs. Richard Owen takes the first tackle of the match. And that is a little stutter forward by Steve Snitch. The Castleford debut for him last week. The third time, incredibly, that Steve Snitch has made his club debut against the Leeds Rhinos at Headingley. That's quite a record.
Well,
That's good defence from Warrington.
We've seen already that Ryan Hudson quite happy to run from the dummy half position, but it was pretty good marking by the Wolves. It's the one thing that Tony Smith has worked really hard on from preparation for this season. Make sure that the first... Oh, that's a charge down, good opportunity. Just didn't get the bounce, but they got possession.
It almost looked like a soccer tackle, that. The foot was raised. I don't know whether it came off the foot or whether it came off the arms, but anyway, Warrington have got the ball back in a great position here. They did well to close the kicker down. Carvel struggles to his feet, plays the ball to Monaghan. Here comes Adrian Morley. He played last week against Harlequins, having had 1 hour's sleep on the sofa following his wife's giving birth to his latest child. Richie Myler now, and he pops the ball up for Louis Anderson. Brother Vinny is on the bench tonight. That's Monaghan. Here is Breers attacking the line.
That's the advantage that Tony Smith realises he has over a lot of other clubs, is the fact that Lee Breers can operate on the right-hand side. Richie Myler down this left, and he's put the kick through.
Slides it through, but well picked up by Ryan McGoldrick.
This is a charge down effort. Certainly was.
He's off the legs.
He just couldn't get the kick, could he? Just went underneath him.
While we're watching this, Castleford get a penalty for interference at the play the ball, or as the man tried to get up and play the ball, by Louis Anderson. So here come the Tigers, and this is Snitch again, 26 years of age. Just inside his own half. Ryan Hudson, the dummy half. It is Jackson, that's Paul Jackson, the Scottish international, back at Castleford for a second spell. He was with Huddersfield last year. Rangi Chase, he's the architect. He got the ball away to Brett Ferris.
Well, already we can see that the Tigers are playing very flat attacking rugby league football.
Rangi Chase again.
Ooh, slashing arm there. That was pretty high from Lee Breers. I think he made contact with Chase.
Plays the ball, Chase. That's McGoldrick. This is Westerman. That's the last tackle for Castleford.
Well, they normally opt for the bomb. Will he get plenty of height on this?
Brent Sherwin, no, he just slides it in behind the defence, and Matt King allows it to run dead in goal.
It always, sorry Eddie, it always amazes me here at Castleford where the lights aren't all that high, and if you can get some real big kick up, get some height on it, it can get lost in the darkness.
For Brent Sherwin, he slid the kick in just behind the defence. He played his best game in Castleford's colours against Leeds last week. Here Warrington get their first penalty. There are the lights that Steve-O's talking about. Low stanchions here.
Well, they had such success, Eddie, by trapping Leeds in their own goal area last week, as we see the penalty here being given. I think the reason why, again, they've had success by playing the territorial advantage. Again, they've looked to do it again here on their home ground.
Myler will restart then. Here is Monaghan, short ball to Carvel. And there's a Castleford man flat out. It was a big collision. And it's Jackson. It was a collision with Gareth Carvel. He went down immediately.
Well, he's made contact with the forearm. Oh, that... Well, hopefully that hit the chest first, as far as Carvel is concerned. Jackson is flat out there.
Well, we're not judge and jury, but the elbow was certainly raised by Gareth Carvel. Ooh.
Yeah, that's a bad one. That is one bad one. I think we'll hear something about that. And as I say, we're not judge and jury, but I think Mr. Carvel might be in a spot of bother, perhaps.
Well, by the looks of Ben Thaler, someone has just talked to him in his ear on that walkie-talkie system. But he's not making any attempt to call Gareth Carvel to him. He's just lining up on the defensive line for the Castleford Tigers, so it's not on report, but that doesn't mean to say that the disciplinary committee cannot have a look at that later on in the week and make a decision one way or the other. Didn't look clever from Carvel, and Jackson is being led from the field. Monaghan then for Warrington gives the ball to Morley. There goes Jackson, and he's going to take a breather on the sideline as Myler gets it away to Anderson. Sherwin was the man low down, Snitch all over the top of him. Monaghan again, Warrington 10 metres away. Here's Carvel, that was Breers. This now is the loose forward Ben Harrison, trying to get the arms clear to get the offload in. Takes the tackle number 4. And Monaghan, Warrington 2 or 3 metres away from the line. Back it comes to Mathers. Mathers trying to skip his way through.
Beautiful step off the left foot. Can they make it pay now?
Breers jinks away from one, stabbed it to the in-goal area, but Castleford come up with the possession. Good work in defence from Rangi Chase.
Just on Paul Jackson's injury, obviously hope he's okay, but what that does is very early in the game it upsets Terry Madison's interchange. He's got to really rethink what he was going to do. To lose a prop so early in the game and have to bring somebody else on, it's disruptive to his thinking.
And you know, the last 5 games played between these two teams on this ground have averaged over 60 points. There really has been some amazing scorelines between these teams here. Sometimes they've been one-sided, sometimes they've been very even and decided in the very last minute. Now, when you talk about the improvement that these two sides have got to make after last year, I think more focus would have been in the defensive element, so I don't think we'll see the 30-30 all draw at the end of this match. But I think that Warrington's effort last week to keep the opponents scoreless for the first time in 14 years is a clear indication of how they've set their target this year. They have to be harder to score against if they really want to focus and finish at the top of the league.
That's a big hit by Harrison, and that's good defence. Well, it's a team of contrasting hairstyles, this. Atkins with his, and Matt King with his, and of course Brian Carney with his.
Yeah, you take a bit, borrow a bit, and lose a bit.
You stay out of this.
Penalty here to Warrington.
Holding down, man in possession of the ball. Well spotted by Ben Thaler.
It's a Mohican, isn't it,
Yeah.
Ryan Atkins? What would you describe Matt King's as?
A mess. But I would.
Sideshow Bob, perhaps, from The Simpsons for Matt King. No response up here. This is Westwood.
That's good work, though. They're getting over the advantage line. They want to get on with it, but Castleford are doing a good job. Back on the inside, Mathers. He's been prominent so far. He loves nothing better than chiming from the full-back position.
Monaghan gets the ball away to Breers, and this is Chris Bridge. Chris Bridge, who of course played for England last year after previously being an Irish international. And Breers slides a kick in. Oh, that's brilliantly picked up by Brent Sherman.
Super stuff. It's what every half-back should do. Always be aware. Don't get up in the straight ball in the defensive line. You've got to say, right, the full-back's over on the left-hand side. I've got to fill that gap, and he did that superbly.
Castleford doing really well keeping this ball alive. It's with Michael Wainwright. This is his 80th appearance for Castleford. He's scored 80 career tries. Westwood with a lazy arm, and it was a good job, but Hudson ducked underneath it.
Well, not only that, Ryan Hudson looked at the official and said, oh, that's pinching the ball. And he knows it. The Warrington skipper, Adrian Morley, reaping it out. But, you know, Ryan Hudson, quick play the ball. This is the incident where Morley is penalised, but he really should have got a penalty there. It's quick thinking. Sometimes it's so quick that the officials, they just can't react to it.
Oh, it's difficult circumstances. Just keep an eye on Brent Sherwin. The last couple of sets that have attacked in the Warrington half, he hasn't really got involved until the last or the second last play. More than happy to let the forward trundle it up and get his kicking game in place. Now, he hasn't had a chance to do that yet, but just keep an eye on him, especially in the end tackles. 5
penalties in the match so far, only 8 minutes gone. It's Ryan Hudson who is the dummy half for the Tigers. Sherwin, a loose pass, but on the bounce it is picked up. And the Warrington defence muscles up against Brett Ferris. It's Hudson again. He bounces off Harrison's would-be tackle, gets it away to Westerman. Westerman taking them on himself. That's tackle number 4. They're 10 metres away. This is Steve Snitch. Good leg drive on the last tackle. Now then, can Castleford force the repeat set of 6 with the kick? Sherwin slides it in. Breers is there, collects it on his own goal line, but doesn't make too much progress forward.
He'll be pleased with that, Tony Smith. They were put under a lot of pressure there, but nobody came out of the line of defence. They stood solid. They're very well organised, both sides. Terry Madison will be quite happy the way that the Tigers' defence is muscling up, and look at that. There's no way through there for the big fella, Matt King.
Not the most tidy play the ball, but here is Morley. And news on Paul Jackson. Bill?
Yeah, thankfully he's feeling a lot better already. He was definitely very groggy when he came off. According to the physio, the legs were wobbly and the old marbles were rolling around a little bit. But things have started to settle down again, and he will be back on pretty fairly shortly, they hope.
That was one big hit.
And Ben Westwood, who put the hit in, is come off second best. It was on Michael Wainwright.
Yeah, the winger felt it too, though. He's a bit groggy. He's having attention way back on that sideline. Oh, that's a big hit by Westwood. And they're caught again. Well, lack of understanding at the play the ball area.
Referee penalising Warrington for lifting the leg after the tackle was made.
He's not a man to show weakness either, Ben Westwood. He looks in a little bit of distress. The physio's still out beside him.
And he's brushing the physio away, just going to take a swig of water and get in the defensive line.
That was a fine kick into the corner. That really has applied the pressure.
Here's Liam Higgins.
Now, we have not seen Rangi Chase inject into the attacking line yet.
They've seen Brent Sherwin. That's a great ball to Evans! And James Evans is in for Castleford. The referee hasn't given it yet, Ben Taylor. He's happy with the grounding, he says, but he would like the video referee Ian Smith just to check any obstruction in back play. There.
Oh, this is beautiful play. This should stand. The switch from the open side. You can see that Snitch has gone through, and this will be given. There's no interference there. Watch Snitch. Hudson goes on the blind side. Snitch comes through, and they deliberately go for him, but the ball's gone. I cannot think that Ian Smith is going to turn this down. It was a beautifully worked move on that short blind side, and this should be TRY time, and fully deserved as well.
James Evans hopes so, because if it's given, it's his 60th try in the British game for 4 different clubs. More importantly, it'll be a 4-point lead, and it is. First blood to the Castleford Tigers, courtesy of James Evans.
Super play, the quality. We spoke about Brent Sherwin making sure he had the ability to create a gap, and he's done that.
And Joe Westerman has added the extra 2, and the Castleford Tigers are ahead by 6 points to 0.
Switch, look at that. Sherwin comes round on the dummy marker, and the dummy stopped enough. He stopped quick enough, and the Warrington defenders, they tried to kid the referee. Gareth Carvel threw his shoulder into the dummy runner in the hope that Ben Thaler would have seen it and given the penalty. It was turned down. Great work.
91.5 minutes of Warrington's season, and that is their first try conceded of 2010.
I think what we sometimes don't appreciate when we watch on television are the lines that players run, and not always the ones who get the ball and score the try. Castleford just conceded a penalty in their own half.
Well,
but the other ones in the red jerseys that helped create that last try for the Tigers.
This is a nothing penalty, and it's a crazy thing. I think Ryan Hudson just pushes Ryan Atkins, but he barely laid a finger on him.
Well, Snitch goes down, and then he just pushes him away. Oh, come on. If we're going to get involved with this ain't tiddlywinks out there. This is rugby league football. Come on.
Mathers. Well, you cannot put a hand on a player in the ruck. You can't push him about, but, I mean, that was patter cake, really, wasn't it, compared to some of the stuff we've seen.
You're spot on.
Let's see them blow it all season then.
You will. Monaghan. Oh, and off his pace. in the chest of Myler, and he said it went backwards first, and then he gave the knock on.
Well, Castleford stopped in the hope that the whistle was going to go. I thought it said play on.
He did.
Well, it came out of off his thumb into his face. Well, at first he said he went back, and then he changed his mind. Still, he's the boss, and bosses usually have the ability to do exactly what they want.
That's a big let-off. That's a big let-off for Castleford. Warrington got a good ball back in a good attacking position and turned it over cheaply. Castleford got off the hook there.
6-0, they lead, the Castleford Tigers.
Oh, it's a knock-on.
Knock-on now against them. And Richard Owen being deemed to have come up with the blunder, but look at the hand in there.
Oh, there's a hand in there all the way. He's panicking. I'm afraid Ben Thaler is panicking. I don't know whether anybody's having a word in his ear all the time, but if they are, shut up.
Yes, they were lucky to get this, Warrington. That could have been a penalty the other way. As it is possession to Warrington with Breers. Shenton got him and collared him.
You know, the Warrington forwards are going to muscle up a little bit more. They're trying to be a little bit too fancy of the Wolves. They've got to roll the sleeves up, get through some hard work. They've got to try to suck in this Castleford defence.
Westwood plays the ball to Monaghan. Here is Ben Harrison. Back it comes to Myler. Myler goes away from one, but can't get away from Hudson.
They're not making that impact. They're not getting over the advantage line, Warrington. This is better.
Morley, good run, but halted. Good defence. Hudson's been involved in everything, and so too has Westerman. Mathers. Last tackle here for Warrington, this set of 6. Back it comes to Myler. He helps it on to Breers. Breers slides the kick in, and that's easy for Ryan McGoldrick.
Idea was good. Full-back, equal to the task. McGoldrick, great positioning. Absolutely wonderful positioning.
Shenton, there's McGoldrick. Next try will be his 30th for Castleford. He was sent off against Warrington here 4 years ago.
Well, Tony Smith, the Wolves coach, has got to make sure he gets a message out if they're going to have any chance of winning this game, and they've got to be a little bit more rougher and tougher. All right, keep within the rules and the regulations. But they've been a little bit too fancy for me, Phil.
We tend to watch attackers, they catch your eye when you're watching a game on television, but Ben Harrison, I think he gets more pleasure from tackling and being a defender than he does from certainly carrying the ball. Fantastically enthusiastic, as are the Castleford defenders here now taking Matt King back.
There's a great chase from Snitch and Evans. Atkins, crossfield run. Well, there's a bit of a mess going on at the play the ball, at just about every play the ball at the moment. Look at this, the referee shouts move, and he's doing his best to keep them going. Here's Atkins again.
Well, he's having little control over it. We said earlier that both sides are trying to just spoil, make sure that they don't have a quick play the ball area. That's not a bad kick. It's a bit awkward.
It is awkward for Owen. And here he goes towards the sideline with 3 on him. McGoldrick is the dummy half for Castleford. Gets it away to Sherwin. Brent Sherwin. As I say, he got a try last week against Leeds. Do you know that's only the 3rd try that he scored for Castleford since his arrival? Here's the England international centre, Michael Shenton now. Played all 6 of England's internationals last year, but he didn't score a try in any of them.
What we saw yet again, Dave, Ben Westwood went right over the top of the player. It states in the rule, they've got to roll away, not over. That's far too long.
Collected by Chris Riley, who of course scored 5 tries last week against Harlequins. Rewrote the Warrington Wolves Super League records. Richie Myler, you'll see all the tries from this weekend in boots and all the tries. Monday night at 11:30, Sky Sports 2. Every try scored in the competition this weekend.
There's a massive difference, Eddie, in the line speed of the 2 teams at the moment. I'm watching Castleford speed off the line. Compare that with what Warrington did in that previous set. There's a massive difference in the energy levels.
Well, there's confusion reigning on both sides now. Has he tackled? Has he finished? Has he gone? Has he hit the deck? That to me is finished, and then he tried to go on, and now they're being penalised. He's got to get a grip of this, Ben Thaler.
Well, he's trying, to be fair, and it's the 8th penalty we've had.
He's having trouble getting both sides back the required 10. That's the big problem he's got to overcome.
Briers gets it away to Mathers. Mathers then will find Bridge. And the pass out the back door took Riley by surprise.
Should have had that great opportunity.
Bridge is hurt.
Oh, it's a chance here. And Morley didn't get to it. He knocked it back. Forward, should I say.
The referee has wiped the tackle count down, has he?
Yep.
Should have done, yes he has.
Not the best pass there, and Morley tried his damnedest to rake it back.
Well, there's knock on both ways there, and was Castleford's the first?
Hard to say. Well, it was a tough opening. Enterprising. Now it's got a bit scrappy.
Liam Higgins, the man on for the injured Paul Jackson. That's a good run from Westerman. From McGoldrick, I beg your pardon. Rangi Chase is the dummy half for the Tigers. Finds Sherwin. Oh, sure Paul to Snitch, and it nearly took Steve Snitch completely by surprise. Last tackle here. What's the kick like? Chase. That's touched. That was touched by Monaghan. 6 to go. 6 to go. It is. The referee wipes the tackle count down. Glorious opportunity for the Tigers. Evans and Sherwin. And here's Snitch.
It was wonderful work, you know, from Richie Myler. He got back.
Jones to Sherwin. Sherwin gets it away. McGoldrick. Second try for the Castleford Tigers. Joe Westerman with the 4-pointer. And Castleford get into double figures.
And again, fully deserved. You talk about taking your chances, and that is exactly what they did. Okay, they got a lucky ricochet. He was touched. Rangi Chase took the ball on the blind side to get the tick away. It's been good tactics by Terry Madison. He utilises the short blind side. He knows that there can't be a lot of trouble or any pressure applied on the kicker. That's a smart move. There you see, it is definitely touched. And back on the inside, look how Richie Myler comes and saves the day. Chase would have been in without a finger being laid on him. It didn't matter. Oh, that is great stuff. McGoldrick, Westerman, super stuff.
Well, Westerman's try, can he improve matters? Can he give the Tigers a 12-point advantage? Not on this occasion. It's Castleford 10, Warrington 0. And Castleford are taking the game to the Warrington Wolves at the moment.
And that is the very best way of describing it. They're taking a great short ball by Ryan McGoldrick. Well-deserved try, but you've summed it up there. They're taking the game to Warrington. Warrington seem to be sitting back a fraction. They haven't really settled into this game yet. They have the ability to do that. They need to do it quickly.
And not only that, they sucked in two would-be defenders into one little gap, and that gap was taken by Westerman. Well, they're on fire, aren't they? Not only strong in defence, but the way that they're taking the opportunities, the Tigers.
Here's Higgins again. Wonder if Warrington have been listening to the publicity and all the talk.
Well, I honestly feel that they're just trying to be a little bit too fancy. It can happen. When you have an easy win the week before, it looks as though it's so easy, didn't it? Didn't concede a point last week.
But they realised that they got Harlequins at a good time with so many injuries and suspensions.
But you've got to really muscle up, and I'm afraid the Warrington forwards aren't doing that.
There's a one common theme, though, between what Castleford did last week against Leeds and what they're doing here today. They're playing the ball and playing the game quicker than their opponents, and that's why they look so dangerous. Both with and without the ball. Look at it here now. They want to trap Richie Mathers as close to his line as possible, and there's so much energy. They're quicker to, just that split second quicker to every play.
That was a tremendous kick as well. I think it was by Brent Sherwin. It just, I mean, the ground is soft. It just plopped its way into the mud, and it stayed there. And Warrington having to run it away from their own in-goal area here. This is Atkins. That's better.
It certainly is, but he puts the backspin on. You know, these kickers, it's not just a fluke. They work very, very hard at it. And again, look at this. Castleford, they're getting away, they're getting out early. Still have a problem, Ben Thaler getting them back, and it's just turning Warrington into a one-out game.
Last tackle here for Warrington. Just saw Paul Wood has come on the field. Here is Breers. Breers will put the kick in towards the corner. He's inviting Chris Riley to chase this. Riley does. That's great play by Riley. That's a wonderful kick by Breers and an energetic chase down by Chris Riley. Warrington will get the feed at the scrum.
Sometimes it takes some class, quality, and it came from Breers. The experience there, he didn't panic. He could have made 4 or 5 meters forward, but perhaps would have thought he was going to be taken down. But he put the kick through, and Riley just rides him into it. Golden opportunity. Boy, they need something. They really do the Wolves.
He's the man of the moment, isn't he, Chris Riley? It's amazing, though. If Chris Hicks had been fit, would he have even been picked last week to score those 5 tries?
Well, that's a big question. Certainly Hicks and King probably the starting choices as far as Tony Smith's concerned on the wings.
But that's how it works in all sports, is it? Not just rugby league. I mean, take Sam Tompkins last year. If he wasn't for an injury, he'd probably be in the reserve grade.
That was Hyam. This now is Mathers. Feeds it out to Bridge, and Chris Bridge going for the line. He's held up just short. And he plays the ball to Richie Mathers. Back it comes to Breers. This is Morley. No way through for Morley. Good tackle low down by Stuart Jones. Hyam again. Myler. Anderson. Goes up the middle, does Louis Anderson.
A little bit more running from dummy half. That's what's needed.
Not happy, the Warrington coach, Tony Smith, at the moment. Hyam. Back it comes to Paul Wood. Short ball then to Breers. Gobbled up by Ryan Hudson. And caught in possession on the last.
And you'd have to say that's an uninspiring set in attack. Warrington, with the players they have, can do an awful lot better in attack. Richie Myler got the second last tackle, got the ball, just shifted it straight to Louis Anderson. Unadventurous.
Well, this Castleford defence have really put them off the boil. Little doubt about that. Not enough enthusiasm in the forwards. They're trying to do that fancy work, but it's just not getting through this very strong Tigers defence.
Mentioned earlier that Castleford will hope to reproduce their away form of last year here at the Jungle. Warrington will certainly hope that their away form will shape their bid this year. Do you know that they've never won more games away from home than they have lost in a Super League season?
That's another great kick. Look at the chase there. They've got the numbers.
This
That's
is
good work by the King, but they've got to him.
It was a lateral run, though, wasn't it? We'll see both these teams again next weekend. Bradford, Castleford next Friday. Sky Sports HD1, 7:30. And next Saturday at 5:15, slightly earlier than this week, 5:15, Warrington against Wigan.
The blockbusters keep coming, don't they? And that is the one thing that the Tigers will be happy with, because when it comes to the power, they've got it all over the Warrington outfit at the moment. That's good work out wide.
Great work. This is Bridge, and he finds Riley. And Riley flings the ball inside. It goes to the arms of Mathers. Referee has given them a penalty, though. Warrington have got a penalty.
Well, what about the advantage?
I don't think there was any, Steve-O. I think the ball had gone backwards, and I don't know whether Warrington had it anyway.
Well, I thought they had. I mean,
obstruction anyway is the decision, and Warrington have another set of 6.
Well, there's about 7 or 8 Castleford players way behind the play. The overlap was certainly on.
Hyam finds Breers, short ball from him. Westwood.
Eddie, you've had to imagine an obstruction play at that point in time should have been a sin bin.
Myler halted.
Play on.
Oh, it's Warrington's head and ball. It's a knock-on by Castleford's Craig Hubie.
Hubie certainly went to rip it one-on-one, which is fine. Hold him back there. That should have been
in position, isn't it?
Yeah, but watch this. They get the ball back, and by that time, surely he should have allowed. There's a knock-on. One-on-one, it's play on up to that point. Well, they're having the rub of the green on one moment, and it goes against them the other.
See, that's where the rules need a change in, Eddie. A team like Warrington, you want to attack from a scrum, but because the defenders are only back 5 metres, they're on them too quickly. We need to alter that. We need to take the defending side back 10 metres from a scrum to allow some space to attack from that scenario.
This is Morley now.
Wait, go.
Hyam, Breers, drops the shoulder. Went underneath Ferris's first tackle, but the reinforcements were there in numbers behind him.
Louis Anderson out wide, they've gone on the short blind.
Great defence by Rangi Chase on Chris Bridge. Hyam again. Comes this way and finds Breers. Breers dabs it to the in-goal area. He couldn't get a hand to it. I don't think Breers could get a hand to it.
I think Griggs has though. But has he got there before a Castleford hand?
I want to see if Warrington ground the ball.
I think Breers misses, but I think you'll find that Griggs has certainly got a palm on it. He's confident. Neat little push through though by the boot, wasn't it? Look how they move away. Breers, he looks to the open side, but he knows that the ball is going to go to the blind. I don't think anybody takes him out, and I don't think he gets to it first hand. But I think you'll find that Mr. Bridge has. Ricks, sorry.
Well, Breers chases his own kick through, and he gets there before anybody else, but I think he misses the ball here.
Yeah, I think he misses, which he does.
Yes.
And does Griggs get there first? I think he does. Miss. And this is a hit. Yep, try time. Mr. Griggs. Boy, did ever the side need that.
McGoldrick's doing all he can to try and scoop the ball away, but I think that Griggs has got there first.
I'm with you, Eddie.
He came on as a sub and scored a try against Harlequins last week. Has he done same again here? Ian Smith says it's a try. Simon Griggs, a Super League debut for Warrington in April 2006, a Super League debut for Halifax in 2003. Simon Griggs, second try of the season, and Warrington back in the hunt.
Well, they just had a little bit of stroke of luck there, did the Warrington Wolves, but sometimes you've got to force it, the better you play, sometimes it goes your way. It was really a clever effort, wasn't it, by Breers? He tried everything he could get to it there. But number 17, Simon Griggs, is the man. Gets the 4. Can it turn to 6?
Well, Lee Breers has taken the kicking job again this year. In off the post he goes for his 8th successful kick of the season. Warrington are back in it. Castleford 10, Warrington 6 now.
You're right, it's a great kick. He did just enough, Lee Breers, to let Ryan McGoldrick think the kick was going open. Delayed Ryan McGoldrick, couldn't get back in time to cover Simon Griggs' try.
Rain teeming down in Castleford as the Tigers restart. Oh, and Hyam comes up with a knock-on. A goal line dropout coming up for Warrington to defend.
How many times do we see this? Sheer lack of concentration, that's what it is. He's a top quality player, this fella. Been around a while.
Good job it was in the in-goal area. Had it been in the field of play, it would have been a scrum 10 metres out.
Hasn't he just been sat on the bench for half an hour? That's a pretty tough first touch, isn't it?
Here's Breers with the goal line dropout. Gets good length on it.
Boy, that's a beautiful drop kick, but...
And it's a good chase.
He creates all sorts of problems, doesn't he, the full-back Ryan McGoldrick.
Mitchell Sargent is on, as you see, for Craig Hubie.
And that's not a bad move by Terry Madison. He's a big unit.
Rangi Chase, now Higgins.
And so's this fella, Higgins.
Yes, all the big guns are out there now for the Tigers. Chase, halted by the tackle there of Simon Griggs. This is Sherwin. Pops the ball back to Snitch. Last tackle here for Castleford after that goal line dropout. Sherwin. Can they get the repeat set? Can they get the repeat set? Yes, they can.
He tried to leave it right until the last moment there, Lee Briers, but the experienced players, you know, they just come up with the moves. They anticipate so much.
Second goal line dropout then. Not as long this time, but still to halfway, and Sherwin. Here comes Higgins. Now then, the repeat set is exactly what Castleford wanted. Can they turn this advantage now into another 4-pointer? Steve Snitch.
Teddy Mattison has his forwards working very well indeed. They keep it tight, not much finesse about it, but it doesn't matter. They get through the hard work. Now they're getting it out wide.
Rangy Chase feeds Joe Westerman.
Could that have been a touch forward? Perhaps. He left it late, did Chase.
Sherwin to Chase. They go wide to Shenton. Briers and Riley deal with that threat. 4 tackles gone. This is Rangy Chase again. They've gone early. Straight to Mathers. And Warrington survive 2 consecutive sets.
Well, if there's any youngster watching this,
he milked that.
he did.
He really did. He begged the penalty here off Ben Thaler. It's an Academy Award for Richard Mathers.
Yeah,
and it's a relieving penalty for Warrington, by the way.
He won't get a gold statue, but I'm just making the point, you know, any youngsters who are watching this game, keep your eye on the positional play by the 2 fullbacks, Richie Mathers on that occasion, and Ryan McGoldrick. We've mentioned it a couple of times so far. These are top quality players.
Warrington over the halfway line, but getting there by the difficult route. This is Vinnie Anderson.
But that's what they need. You know, a good hit from Vinnie Anderson, Gareth Carvel just before then. Look where they've got into a position. They're moving a lot quicker. They're gelling a lot more now.
Hyam gets to his feet, plays it to Myler. Myler to Carvel.
Now this is where they can do something. Will Briers opt for a chip over the top?
Well, it's with Briers, and yes, he does. Into the corner. He's looking for Matt King. Matt King, it's flicked off him, and it's found its way over the touchline. Briers got a bang on the head for his pains. Maybe one in the chest as well.
Oh, King went for the ball, contacted it. It just didn't bounce right for Atkins. It wasn't the best there. You could see the Castleford defence. They came in. There were 3 players went for that ball.
Maybe he didn't get a bang on the head. Maybe he was just rubbing his head with frustration and angst.
But Tony Smith will have seen that. The way that on that last kick into the corner, not one man called for it. There was 3 going for the same ball from Castleford. That could have been costly.
Eddie, you spoke about Warrington's victory last week and how comfortable it was at that. But at the half-hour mark, the game was pretty even. And the last 5 minutes of the first half, Warrington showed a new belief, a new strength. Here's the kick through, the penalty there, perhaps no.
No, he got a bit of a bell to Lee Briers.
Two tries in the last 3 minutes last week of the first half really then set the game to bed, and they had a comfortable win. I think again you see an urgency about them here now. They're looking again to finish the game stronger than their opponents. Finish the first half, I should say.
I'm not so sure, by the way, that this wasn't the best decision by Ben Thaler. It looked very tough against Castleford. It's a knock-on that's been ruled anyway, and here is Paul Wood.
Well, I don't think Snitch actually got a touch with his foot. Virtually rolled back.
It's Myler. He went through the first tackle that was Sherwin's. Couldn't get away from the second man in. Hyam, scampering run. Carvel on the charge. Hyam from the short side to Mathers.
Great defence again.
Yeah, they just waited for him.
Yep. And that's it. That's the key to it. One person comes out of the line, leaves the gap, you'll suffer.
Briers with a dink into the in-goal area. Oh, Riley, I think. Riley has scored a fantastic try again. That's his 6th in 2 games. And Briers with the chip over the top. And Riley, he's so quick. Standing start. The ball went behind the Castleford defender. And Chris Riley Well, a new Super League record last weekend. Brian Bevan once got 7 tries in a match. He got 2 here in August 2008.
He just has this wonderful habit, doesn't he, Lee Breers? That was superb. He got the bounce as well. Nothing that they could do about that. Michael Wainwright, perhaps undecided. What's the kick? Wainwright said, oh, I don't think I'm in the right position. And I think his coach, Teddy Madison, might agree with me. But this man, Riley, he's a young one. He's not old Mother Riley, I can tell you, but he's very, very crafty indeed. 6, as you say, Eddie. Wow.
Chris Riley, well, everything he's doing at the moment, and he obviously is running high on confidence. And Breers this time has missed.
Nope.
10-all.
Well done, you both got it right then.
What a great kick by Lee Breers to set up that try. To be able to split the winger and the fullback under so much pressure from the defensive line is a real art.
I really believe that Tony Smith has got the message out that the build-up to this was brought about by good, solid, hard work in the forwards, and leave the finesse to the likes of Breers and Riley. He's running red hot. So's he.
Offside at the kick-off against Castleford. Well, Ben Taylor is red hot on the whistle tonight.
On some things. Oh, this is. I'm sorry, but this is stretching him.
That's no good.
Deary me.
Well, you've got a man over on the far side, a metre or 2 offside.
It happens every time there's a dropout underneath the sticks. Sometimes even the man dropping out is about half a metre over the line.
You look at that, look at the man here.
Oh, listen, are we going to do this all the time?
Well, I hope so, yes. If they do, that's fine. Other than that, let's throw the rule book away, Steve-O.
Okay, well, let's all throughout this game now we'll be saying, well, that's a rule, and that's a rule, and that's a rule.
There's a knock on. There's another rule.
Mate, that's criminal, that. You're about 4 yards offside. 4-0.
You were only complaining a few moments ago that you thought Castleford were badly done to because Snitch didn't appear to knock home.
Okay.
That's a rule too.
That's a matter of opinion. That is a clear case of the fact of life, that the man was stood offside at the kick-off. End of.
Just going back to this scrum and why it was awarded, give great credit to the Castleford defence and the aggression and the speed they showed to force that mistake from Gareth Carvel.
There's a penalty. The 12th penalty we've had, by the way. Which, I agree with you, is too much, but if there are offences being committed, the referee has got no alternative.
And did you think that was interference?
Yes, all over him, about 5 of them.
And
That
that's
could be as well.
interference. Well, why didn't they do it? Said move, and they're not moving. He has a little pat onto his head.
Stuart Jones.
They've got to be
He goes
careful,
down number 3.
They've got to be careful, Warrington. They're just losing the plot slightly. Good, solid, hard work from the Castleford forwards. They will just bounce through, and they'll probably just wait until the last and put the kick through.
Rangy Chase.
Here it comes. Where's Sherwin?
That's a good run from Rangy Chase.
Keep your eye on James Evans here out on the right.
You wanted another penalty then, Chase. There's Sherwin's kick, looking for Richard Owen. Knock on by Richard Owen. The referee thinks he's just asking Ian Smith to check this for him.
Yeah, he's got it right. Richard Owen gets a touch to it, so it's classified as a knock-on. The first knock-on, that is, so it'll be a tap on the 20. Even the man with the whistle said, let's have a look at that. Why not?
Vinnie Anderson again. He's 31 tomorrow, by the way, is Vinnie Anderson. Getting up now and playing the ball.
Just the right age for a good forward.
St. Valentine's Day. Is my card in the post, Steve-O?
You'll have to wait and see, won't you, Eduardo?
This is Louis Anderson now.
Went
Lost
high.
it.
You know the one thing I love about coming to this ground? You're so close to everything.
Yep.
The crowd are underneath us. They go absolutely berserk at everything. I love this game. I really do.
Who's in the scrum half here? Scrum half! Hold on, guys.
This
Come on,
game
get
or
in
the
properly.
game in general?
Get it in. Richie, get in.
All over the
Back on.
world. It's great. Best in the world, you know that.
Rangi Chase goes
Great
back
move.
to McGoldrick. Wide they go. Wainwright taken down. Last half minute of the first half. Castleford looking to regain the advantage. Good little run from Sherwin, halted by Riley. Oh, that's a mess. And now he's given a penalty for pushing and shoving.
Take the two, he says.
Two, says Terry Mattison. He knows it might be tight at the end of the day.
Yep. Some coaches say, OK, we'll put up a bomb, which is always, well, was it interference?
No, I don't think it was. But
Did Shenton play the ball incorrectly?
another matter of opinion.
Maybe we should look at the rules.
Right. First, make sure you stand behind. Lead.
Both coaches watching anxiously. Westerman, can he just edge Castleford ahead at half-time? I honestly think they've been marginally the better side. They deserve this if it sails over. Great kick. I was going to say still in play, but it isn't, because Matt King took it over the dead ball line. 10-all then at half-time. Castleford off to a great start. Evans and Westerman with the tries, and Westerman has kicked one of the conversions. Then in the last 10 minutes of the half, Warrington got going. Grix and Riley with the try, and Breers has converted one of those. 10-all it is.